What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Contractor Secrets Podcast. Today we have a business breakthrough with Larry Alexander. He is with Progressive Painting in Arizona, and we're talking about getting him on the grid. Okay, so he's built a business. They do quite a bit of revenue, and he's been off the grid doing it by word of mouth, by really just building relationships over so many years. And now he wants to get on the grid. So we're talking about ways to get his company up to date. We're talking marketing, we're talking CRM, we're talking automation. So, really awesome business breakthrough, one of my absolute favorite ones so far. So, tune in, you're going to love it. And it starts right now. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. What's going on, everyone? I'm here with Larry Alexander. He is with Progressive Painting in Arizona, and we're here talking, chatting about his business and different things that he's got going on. Let's kind of set the table, man. Last time we spoke, you said that your company's doing a pretty good amount of volume. You've been doing this for quite some time, and you're in a current sales role right now. What are some areas in your business that you're looking to expand and grow, or just let's dive into it, man? What are some things you're wanting some help with?
Marketing is one of those things we do.
Marketing.
We don't do a whole lot of marketing, so being able to have a higher rate of people coming to us would be great to offset the amount of work that we're going out to get.
Absolutely. So do you have a marketing? Have you ever marketed in any other capacity, or is this kind of your first area where you're really looking to dive into marketing? Because I think it'd be important for us to go over a little bit of marketing principles that you can use across the board, and it doesn't matter what industry you're in. So do you have any experience with any other marketing, or just
We
any?
did, um, we did at one point some like flyer distribution, have people go out
Okay.
there and hit it hard, and that did produce some results, but the cost towards recovery, return on investment, wasn't what we would like. So moved on
Gotcha.
to
So
that
did the flyers
and
in
cold call stuff too.
yeah, the flyers and paper and all that stuff. Like for me, marketing, when you can actually tie attribution to your marketing in terms of your sales, that encourages you to do more marketing, right? So if, let's say, every flyer you had a QR code on it, and you had a call to action on that QR code that said, hey, book now and we'll give you 5% off, right? And that QR code takes them to a landing page that says, hey, redeem your 5% off, put in your information. Then that landing page puts them into a CRM where they get another follow-up email that says, hey, great, we got your request for an estimate. We'll contact you now at this point with a date and a time where you can come take a look, right? So then you can go
Mhm.
look at that data and be like, okay, well, this many people came in from the flyers, right? Because there could be people calling you right now that you maybe have given a flyer to a year ago that they don't really remember, and they're not going to say it or mention it, and you can't really identify if that marketing channel was good. Generally, you know that it's probably not good. Like, I'm just giving you some insight on, like, paper marketing, with the ability to do a QR code on there gives you the ability to attribution sales to that marketing channel. Does that make sense?
No, 100%, because there's zero of that going on.
Zero that going on. Some people do it on their business card to tie business card marketing to, I actually have one right here. If you look at it real quick, see this? I got a
Yep.
QR code on the back of my business card there. So when people scan that, we know where they came from. So I'm really big on that. Like, I just like to know about where the business is coming from so I can spend more money and invest more in that area. When you look at marketing, it's just like investing, man. It's like looking at different investments and deciding where to place your money. So when you think of marketing, you have to identify, first of all, what are your options out there? And I'm going to cover them. So what you try to do is having flyers, paper, that sort of marketing. I think at this point, it's a waste of money and it's a waste of time. People take flyers and paper, and what do they do with them?
Well, I don't do too much. I don't do that heavily, but the business card aspect of it, I always do leave some information in whatever door I'm at, and then I
Right.
do maybe about 5%, but 5% it costs me nothing because I'm already there.
You're
Get
already
that,
there.
and then
Yeah.
waits to a significant return
So,
on investment.
yeah, and I understand that. So there's passive marketing, and then there's aggressive marketing, and there's also different levels of motivation for the customers that you're trying to attract. So for me, the way I see it is you got to identify really what the motivation of the customer is. If you knock on my door and you hand me a flyer or a door hanger or a business card and you say, "Hey, we painted your neighbor's house. Are you interested in a quote?" And then, I'm not really motivated to get the paint job done because I didn't know I needed a paint job. You just popped up and you said you were going to offer me a quote. My motivation to get the job done is super low. Yeah, you did that for free. There was no cost there to you, but you're also very unlikely to get the job unless you hit maybe 1 out of 20 where they're actually like, "Okay, yeah, you know what? I do want a quote and I will purchase this paint job because you knocked on my door." But
Mhm.
when you spend money on areas where the motivation is high, like Google, like if you go and Google that you want a paint job, obviously your motivation to spend the money is high. If you're going on Home Advisor because you're looking for a professional, the motivation is high. If you're going on Angie's List or whatever it is, you have to identify those traffic sources. Then you pay more money for that because the motivation has already been created somehow without you doing it. So if you come and knock on my door because you're painting my neighbor's house, I wasn't thinking about a paint job. I wasn't budgeting for a paint job. I didn't even know I needed a paint job. Is you came
Yeah,
over. Yes, that what's that?
you know, a good 35% chance on the neighbor wanting to keep up with with their neighbor. Keep up with the Jones effect. Everybody wants to not be left out in their house looking good, while the neighbors just got theirs looking
Yeah,
fresh.
who would?
But
But the reality is, who wouldn't want a paint job, right?
right, exactly. It's just about
Oh no, I don't want my house to look better.
yeah.
I'm not talking about the desire. We know the desires there. You're not selling kitchen knives where like it's like, no, everybody wants it done. It's just we're talking about money. We're talking about actually giving you the money to do it. That's the highest level of motivation. Emotional intensity is the transfer of the money to commit. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. Marketing and commitment go hand in hand. Again, when you knock on my door, you have a very low chance of getting me to commit. Yeah, I want to keep up with them, but guess what? What do I have to do then? Okay, you just informed me that I needed my house painted, right? So, as an educated buyer, which you probably want to work with because they spend good money on good help and good quality, somebody's not educated doesn't value your services as much as someone who's educated. Would you agree?
Yes.
So what am I going to do? Thank you, Larry, for coming over here. You know what? I'm probably going to now get a couple quotes, because I want to see where you stand compared to the other people. Has that happened to you? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I'd probably say about a good 30-40% of the time. Somebody either that go look me up and then call me back later and make sure my
Yeah,
review.
they'll look you up and they do their own research, right?
Yeah,
So reality of the situation is if we're talking about the buyer behavior, even when you go and alert them and you create the motivation, guess what? You could potentially be giving business to someone else who didn't earn the right to have that business because you're the one who created the motivation, right?
understandable.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to marketing, what's your follow-up process look like? And when I say that, I mean, okay, sir, thank you so much. Here's your proposal. What's next? Do you have a follow up sequence set up to ensure that person continues to get communication from your company as the days go on? Did you put that person into a CRM that has his information that you can easily access and follow up? Hey, how'd those other quotes go, by the way? Was there anything that they said that we didn't? Right. So that's
Mhm.
where marketing meets sales because what you're now needing to do is you're needing to raise that closing ratio on that marketing that you did, which lowers the cost of your overall marketing spend because you don't need to spend as much, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it didn't cost you anything but your time, which is pretty valuable. But I'm just trying to help you understand the game of really what you should have. You shouldn't just have like this front end sales. What you were doing initially, yes, it was marketing where you knocked on the door and then it turned into sales because you did the proposal. Then you got to go back to marketing if they don't close.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't go back to marketing. They just stop there.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah. And then again, like remember, you knocked on someone's door, you created the need, you inspired the change, and you didn't follow up with what you did. You didn't understand that the motivation of I'm not calling you out. I'm just giving you the scenario, not
No,
your
no, no.
person.
This is reality. I was just trained one kind of way, and that
Right.
was go out there, kill meat. You know what I mean? And so,
But you got to, it would
I,
be great though, but you could
yeah,
land on that person that was like, you know what? I was thinking about it, Larry. I'm so happy you're here.
you know
You
how often I get that though when I knock on the door, and it's like,
I
you
was
must be
thinking about it.
yeah, and then like you read my mind. Come on in, you know, and then sign some
I
paperwork. And
love
it's
those.
yeah, it's nice when that happens.
It's
Obviously, that's
nice.
not a
It's
daily
nice. I
occurrence, but
wish it would happen every
yeah,
time, but people
right.
are always thinking about it, right? But again, how much thought did you put into it? Did you assign a budget to this? Did you do any research on what color you want? Do you know the process? Like, so it's like so important as a good marketer to understand who you're selling to so you can align your approach with their specific needs. Like, again, identify where they are in the process. If you have somebody that is in the discovery phase of just starting to really identify paint companies and asking neighbors questions about different painting contractors, that's like the discovery phase. Then you have like the people that are in the I unaware phase of just like they're before the discovery phase where they didn't even know that there's
Mm,
cracking happening or there's wood rotting. They're not the type of homeowner to actually give a crap about it. And they need to be shown and they need to be educated and they need to be made aware either by you or the HOA. That sometimes happens, right?
yeah, yeah,
HOA will make them very aware that they need to get their house painted. Okay.
yeah,
So those people are in the unknown phase. They need a lot more nurturing, a lot more educating. But the discovery people, those are the ones that you can convert. And then you have the committed people. These are the people that are actively searching, they're getting quotes. Okay. So as a company like me, I don't waste my time with the people who don't know they need it. Okay. Don't waste my time with them. They'll figure it out. Hopefully I'll be in a position for when they go through that pipeline mentally of discovering, asking questions, and then committing. I don't waste my time with them. They'll figure it out when they're ready. I know that the mass market does a Google search. Okay. They go on Facebook.
yeah.
I know that. So I want to be there when they do that. And they'll get me at that point. That's why
Hmm.
that's why we have the most reviews. I spend so much time getting reviews. So when somebody looks up painter in my area, boom, I'm right there. So I'm trying to get them, okay, at what we call the bottom of the funnel. That means that they're ready to convert. Okay. Discovery phase. We'll do a little bit of light marketing on the discovery phase. These are the people that you'll get interested when you run Facebook ads. Like, you'll get them to, they'll see a Facebook ad of a beautiful painted house. They're in the discovery phase. They're actually going to engage with that post, most likely. Okay. They're going to be like, oh, that looks good. I was thinking about it. Those are your people that say, I'm thinking about it. They're in phase 2. Then you got committed people. Committed people know 2 things. Number 1, they know their budget and they've identified the need. Now it's just a matter of who they pick. Those are the people that I love because it saves me time. I don't have to sit there and educate. I could just turn and burn those. Yes, they're more expensive, but if you allocate a budget to marketing, I'll spend money on Home Advisor. I'll spend money on anything that can bring me ready to go people. Google, okay? And that's kind of the spectrum of marketing. Was that a little bit helpful?
Yeah, do me a favor though, back up because this whole CRM thing is really new to me. So can you explain that to me in a very simplistic way, just so I can get an overall grasp of
Yeah,
that?
well,
Because I
first
don't,
you need to
I,
know what it
I
stands for.
that I give bids for, and every now and then I'll reflect back upon those, but I don't generally follow up with a customer that didn't sign the contract.
Agreed. So CRM stands for customer relationship management. Okay. There's 2 types of sales cycles in home service. Number 1 is a fast, short sales cycle. Okay. That means that when your AC breaks, okay, you call an AC company to come fix it. The service technician gives you a quote. He goes to his truck. He fixes it. You pay him. Done. With us, we have a long sales cycle. It usually starts with a request. Then it goes to an estimate. Then it goes to a proposal. Then there's a few days in between where they think about it. Sometimes they take longer, right? Maybe a month or two before they
Yeah.
actually commit. Okay. Then they commit, right? And then you do the job or you schedule the job and then you do the job and then you complete the job. So that is a long sales cycle. And every customer that you've ever done a paint job for falls somewhere in that sales cycle. You have some people that are new leads, people that you are getting information from your website or they call you and they want an estimate. That's a new lead. That's a lead, right? And then you have some people that are people that you've already given a proposal to. And you need something that keeps track of everyone at each stage of the sales cycle. Why? Well, because everyone needs individual communication based on those stages. So let me give you an example. Somebody goes to your website. Okay. You got a website?
Yeah, we do.
Okay. I go to your website. I put in my information. How long does it take for you to get to me?
I don't even think I checked that, man.
You don't even check it. So there could be people going to your website that you're busy throughout the day driving around. You can't get a hold of them. And guess what? They feel like they're not valued, they're not being communicated with. So when you have a CRM, an automation CRM, that CRM will send them a text message and an email within seconds automatically. And it says, "Hey, it's Larry from Progressive Painting. Would you like to schedule an estimate with us? Click here." And then if the CRM works right, it'll allow them to click and schedule an estimate. And that automates that initial process and makes them feel communicated and valued with. That's now that person was at one point a new lead. Now there's someone who's on the schedule. Okay. But tomorrow you might get another new lead. So that person needs to be brought through that same process over and over and over again. And then that person you scheduled the estimate with has now received an estimate. Does that make sense? Am I making
So
is it all?
CRM plus all the different platforms that you would gain people's attention from, or
Well,
is that
it
something you manually enter if you talk to somebody face to face?
That's a good point. So there's a couple ways you can automate it to where if somebody you have to connect, like the CRM is like your central hub, right? So you would want someone to come in from your website. You want their information to get in there. If you buy leads from Home Advisor, you want to get them in there. If someone calls you, yes, you would manually enter them in there. Like that's the idea, is to have your CRM be your central hub for everything. Okay. And that is what the value of it is that you have one place where you can see everything. And it gives you peace of mind, but it also helps you capitalize on your investments. Like, for example, Dripjobs, and this was not meant to be brought up, but I want to help you understand why I built this thing, was simply because of the issue that you're running into, that everyone runs into. We have all these people that we help, but we don't remember who we gave an estimate to 10 days ago. And we lose out on the opportunity to follow up with them that maybe could be the follow up that gets us the business, because maybe they have a question that they're afraid to call us and ask. Simple. You know how many times I've done follow ups with people, Larry, where I just asked, "Hey, I just was curious, do you have any questions?" And then they would say, "Actually, yes, the other painter said they were going to be doing this, 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 and this, and they came in a little bit cheaper."
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I
Yeah.
say, "Oh, okay, well, let me be honest with you. We do this, 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 and this, and we actually do this, 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 and this at no extra cost to you. That's why our price is what it is." "Oh, really?" "Yeah." "Okay, actually, that makes a lot of sense." And then I'd say, "Okay, well, did you want to put down a deposit?" "You know what, Tanner? Yeah, that I want to go with you guys." Dude, I can't even tell you how many times I've sold jobs from that scenario there, following up. But guess what? Right now, if you don't have a CRM, if you don't have something that reminds you who has gotten an estimate, it's almost impossible for you to do that consistently. Because right now, if I asked you, "Larry, tell me within the next 60 seconds, who are the last 10 people you've given an estimate to?" and I need you to give me their phone number and their email. Would you be able to do that for me?
A paper format, not digitally.
Not digitally. So that's why. And it makes it easy. So, and then Dripjobs automates that email follow up for us. And then we obviously would pick up the phone. So, like, there's just, there's other CRMs out there, and none of them are going to be quite like what we've built, because I'm a painting contractor and I know what we need. But
Yeah,
really, where I'm
that's
getting at is a CRM is valuable.
yeah, because I seen advertisements for like Salesforce and all that stuff, but they're very comprehensive, and so it has a
Mhm.
lot of different features that I have no interest in,
That's right.
and associated that adds value to the price that they're asking for that. I have no use, and I don't want to overpay for a CRM that is not geared for me or focused on construction or contracting. So
Absolutely.
I
I mean, there's no reason to.
drip drops
CRM
all the way.
serve that Salesforce serves everybody.
Yeah,
You need,
not
like, when, yeah, I mean, you need a contractor's approach to CRM. But just I'm just trying to help you understand that in that way, a CRM can help you with your marketing. If marketing was the big thing, you did a great job. You finished the job, you went next door, you knocked on the door, you had a great conversation. But if you identify this lady didn't know that she needed it done, so where does she fall? If Pander gave me three categories of doesn't know that she needed it, has now been informed. Two would be discovery, where they're doing their own little research, Googling, asking friends and neighbors, looking at colors online. Discovery, getting excited, thinking about a budget. And number three would be committed. Where does she
yes,
fall?
in the area would definitely be the areas that I'm in. Typically, the houses are pretty spaced out, and so one person isn't necessarily looking at what the other person is doing exactly. But in
Right.
those big communities, everybody knows that my house looks ugly and it needs to be painted. You know what I mean? So, but typically it's they don't know. Or when I talk to people, even if they don't know, it's generally about a 50-50 chance. Some people know it's obvious because I knock on generally completely obvious doors. Your house is ugly. That's why I stopped. You know
Right.
what I mean? Generally, there's a little bit of embarrassment in that, but it also leads to the opening of the door. Let me walk around and give you this estimate real quick.
Right. But what are you doing there? You're educating, because why
Mhm.
didn't they get it done, Larry, if it got to that point where you're knocking on the door? Because they don't value it, or
That's
they don't
correct.
have the money to do it.
Right.
They don't value it, they don't have the money to do it, or they really don't understand the negative implications of not getting it done. So remember, when you do that, you're educating. I think it might even be wise for you to schedule a second visit before you give that quote. Okay. Say, this is a discovery. I really wasn't even anticipating doing an estimate. I just wanted to inform you, right? This is how you sell. Would it be okay if I came back Tuesday and gave you a formal quote? What does that do? What that does is, Larry, that gets them in discovery phase. Okay. Because the time that you give them is going to give them enough time to look up paint colors. They're going to get excited about it, hopefully. Then they're going to ask their neighbors and friends about budget. Then they're going to ask about, then they might even look up your company in the meantime. So when
Yeah.
you present that proposal, now you've got somebody that is prepared to make a buying decision.
You really let fish off the hook like that and try to come back and get him?
I used to do life insurance all the time.
Man, I would not let that fish go. We have to go for it.
What do you mean let that fish go? You're operating, not calling you out. You're operating in a scarcity mindset. If you're that confident in your, first of
Hmm.
all, if you're that confident in doing what's in their best interest by painting this house that needs it bad, and you've done a good enough job educating them on why it needs to be done, and you frame it as in, hey, I wasn't even planning on it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some notes today, take some pictures, and I'll be back with a formal estimate. Can we set up a time for Tuesday at like 1 o'clock? Would that be okay? Maybe when your husband's home?
Yeah, I mean, you run into that every now and then where the decision maker is not there. I don't
Yeah,
generally that because my clientele is generally retired folks, so they generally most
me
people are
too.
home. But I do see the value in that because I've done that in my earlier days where I wasn't as experienced as a sales
Right.
guy, but I would up just to bring the heavy
But
hitter close.
but let me ask you this one more thing. You're painting someone's house. You knock on my door. You don't know
Mhm.
what I'm going on. Do you think I'm in the mindset to be sitting and talking to you? You don't know that. So I think
No,
that there's something really important there. I would do this in life insurance. I had a cold stack of leads, and I knew that if I knocked on their door, they got dogs barking, they got chaos happening during the day, or they're not just, maybe they're not in the right mindset to be interacting with somebody effectively. Okay. I would say, hey, listen, my name's Tanner. You see here, you requested some information from our company. Hey, listen, I didn't mean to just pop on you. I just want to introduce myself, let you know that this is why I'm here. Last thing I want to do is interrupt your morning. Would it be okay if I stop by on Tuesday so we can sit down and we can go over the information you requested? Would that be okay? I have 1 o'clock available, right? So
okay.
now they can prepare for that interaction rather than being thrown a curveball in the morning. It's hard for people to make that buying decision under duress. Then you have buyer's remorse as a potential outcome because I'm sure you're a great salesman. So you're going to probably close it. But then again, you don't want to come in like a tornado and leave with a check.
No, no, no.
Oh,
Well, I don't mind that as long as everything's right and the comfort, because everything we do is no money down. So the customer's never had any kind of liability as far as, oh, you put a deposit and now you're stuck in the job. Everything we
right.
do, everything.
I love that.
I'm
Just
knocking on
sign
you.
contract.
So to give you comfort of not knowing me, even though you can look me up, but I still rather you have that security of if anything goes wrong, I'm out of pocket. I have to try to
See,
find a
that
way to.
says a lot about you. And I think that the approach that I'm just giving you, maybe it's situational. Like I said, read the
No, I like it,
customer's motivation.
that particular tactic, because when you do have people that are busy with the children or the dogs is going mad crazy or the circumstances, I don't ask for a better time. So unless they ask for a better time, you can, hey, can you come back later? But I generally don't say, you know what, is there a time that I can come back that's more appropriate for you? I generally just leave it alone, and then I'll just revisit that house if I see it again. If I'm
Here's
on
a
there,
suggestion. I like that. I just think that you should offer the time first. Don't ask. People don't like open ended questions, they like to say yes or no.
no, you can get stuck in that. I agree.
You get stuck in it. Oh, they don't have their calendar with them. Say, hey, I'm going to actually be back in this area Tuesday, 1 o'clock. Does that time work for you? Then they'll tell you if it doesn't, and then they'll make their decision on when does.
Hmm.
See, it's just a different way of approaching helping them make a decision.
No, I can understand and agree with that.
Yeah. So,
And then if
marketing.
right time,
Oh,
they'll
good.
just the right time. Then right.
What's that?
If that's not the right time, then they'll just correct you with the
Oh,
right
yeah.
time.
Oh, yeah. I do that all the time when I call leads. I say, hey, I'm going to be there Wednesday at about 1 o'clock. I'll say, that doesn't work. I have a doctor's appointment. Oh, okay. What time works for you? 2 o'clock. Perfect.
I
You
like
know,
that. I like that.
see, when you sell life insurance, man, you don't have the option of losing out on business, man. It's a hard business. So when you're
I can,
knocking on doors, man, you got to get creative. I just learned it. It's something I learned.
yeah, I can appreciate that. It's a good perspective.
So marketing, like where I'm getting at is this. First of all, identify how bad you need the jobs. If you're looking to grow and scale fast, you want to go for those people in the 3 category, which I remember committed, ready to go. They're going to be on Google searching. They're going to be on Home Advisor inquiring. They're going to be on your website. They're going to be people that, so it would be worth it to run some Google ads, Facebook ads, anything to get people ready to go. Okay. Those are the people that you want to go after. Discovery phase. These are the people that you're knocking on the door and they say, actually, I was thinking about it. Okay, great. Then those people definitely you can give a quote to on the spot for sure. The first people, oh, I didn't even know there was cracking over there. They're light years away from making a decision.
Gotcha.
You
So
know,
how do you, I guess I have to that's maybe a separate conversation, but drip jobs, how does that get integrated in what I already got going on?
I could talk about drip jobs for 10 hours, but I'll keep it short.
Yeah.
If you buy Facebook leads, okay, let's say you set up Facebook leads, we can connect Facebook leads to drip jobs. So whenever somebody puts in a request for progressive painting, within seconds, they're going to get an email and a text message, and their information is going to be in drip jobs. Okay. From your company, it's going to say, hey, it's Larry with progressive painting. We got your request. Please click here to book an appointment. They click the link, they choose a date and a time for the appointment, and you still have yet to call them, which is great because you're probably busy throughout the day. So at the end of the day, you can go and approve the appointment, and they'll get a notification that their appointment request has been approved. That goes on your schedule inside of Dripjobs. From there, you go and do the estimate. When you do the estimate inside of Dripjobs, you can actually build out the proposal and you can send it to them or show it to them on an iPad. From there, they can sign it, put down a deposit. You can accept the payment through Dripjobs. Then you would schedule the job. You can schedule the job through Dripjobs. It's the whole pipeline that we discussed all in one app. So you don't need anything else. The only thing that's always a little bit tricky is getting your customers inside of there, which we have some ways to help you do that through Zapier, which is an app that allows you to connect a bunch of apps. So if you have a website, we can actually give you a link to click if somebody's on your website that they can fill out a form and their information goes into Dripjobs automatically. So we're pretty creative about it. Some lead generation companies like Thumbtack, or they're just hard to get anyone to integrate with. So unfortunately, there's some workaround that'll have to be done there. But the big ones we work with, and we can
What
get
about the
them in.
manual aspect of that? So like if I hadn't wanted to follow up with a customer that didn't pull the trigger at that moment, could I put the information in and they do like an automated follow up in a couple of days or anything like that?
Absolutely. So the follow-ups are done for you. So we have over 50 follow-ups in there based off of each stage the customer's in that are pre-done for you, pre-written. You can sign up for an account and like within seconds you can get follow-ups triggered. But yes, so we have a sequence. They're called sequences. So for example, if I was your client and you gave me a quote, you can set it to send me a follow-up for the next 30 days. Every 4 or 5 days it'd be like 8 follow-ups. And inside the follow-ups, you're building value. You can write about your company, you can put pictures, and you can put links to videos of let's say you're selling me cabinets, painting cabinets. You could put a YouTube video of you guys spraying cabinets that sends them on the third day for them and say, hey, look at this cabinet painting job that we did. You know what I'm saying? So you have that ability to do that in there.
All right.
So it's pretty
Yeah.
powerful, man. And I just want to get back to marketing because it's like if you look back at the last 10 people that you give an estimate to, my first suggestion is after this call, I truly believe that you need to be calling those people and following up. And when I follow up, I don't just say, hey, have you decided if you want to move forward with us? I say, hey, I just want to follow up to see if you had any questions. That is the best way to follow up in this business. Do you have any questions? Because they always do. Remember, people don't get their house painted every so often. It's usually about 10 years in between the time that they actually do this, unless they're buying and moving into another house and they have to do it again. With that said, obviously we know people don't want to make bad decisions. So there's always questions that need to be answered. Okay.
No, respect. I agree with that.
Yeah. And it'll open up the door. Though they may say, yeah, or no. Okay. So if no, is there anything stopping you from wanting to move forward?
See,
You
I'm
just kind of,
extremely low pressure, but I understand a little pressure definitely helps out because that's why I don't generally even follow up is because I'm on to the next. I'm not trying to be, especially as a door-to-door salesman. In some neighborhoods, you have to be careful with that, because you create too much pressure. Somebody might do a phone call,
true.
but I
True.
just keep going forward. But I know that has to change if I want to value my time more or as much as
Oh
I.
man, you're going to double your sales. If you're not doing any follow-ups, I mean, you are going to dramatically increase your closing ratio. Dramatically. First of all, in this business, they're not expecting it, number one. And number two, it's very low pressure because I'm actually selling them something that they want. I'm not selling them something that they don't want that I'm trying to force on them like a car when I know that it's just a commodity. I used to
Mhm.
sell cars, so I remember what that was like. And life insurance. I mean, it's not something they really want. So it's like paint job is something that's going to make them happy and it's going to make sure their house, their greatest investment in most cases, their biggest investment is well taken care of. So for me, I don't mind following up because what I'm doing is in their best interest. you know
Well, yeah, I agree. That's what I explained to them. It's not just cosmetic. It's
but
not
they
just.
want to hear back from you, bro. You're a nice guy. They probably enjoy the interaction, and then they don't hear from you again. And you don't know what circumstances have come up from that time to now. You don't know what that situation is. You at least owe every single person that you do an estimate with a follow-up call if
No,
you
I've had.
want to
I just
dramatically increase your sales.
parts. I lost your number. You know what I mean? And then blam. They
Don't
knocked
ever
out.
say you lost their number.
No, they say that.
Oh,
They lost my card, so they were
uh,
interested, didn't have the number to call me, or they didn't have the website
right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
So
you never know. They could have
they
lost
don't
your
know.
number. They could have lost. Do you know how many people that I've had that actually just replied to me through an email because of that reason? They said, "Oh, I lost your number, but I'm sending you an email," and they interact with me that way. I mean, we've got to align ourselves with the way that they interact with these big corporations, these big companies, Amazon. They're used to that level of communication in all other areas, and then it's like we got to go back to 1980 when we work with a contractor,
I
right?
like that. You're right, because people are used to that with all the other aspects of
That's right.
commerce. You
That's right.
barely put your address in one website, and they're blowing you up with an email
Blowing
every.
you up, but why not? Why can't we? And that's what Dripjobs is about. Like, come on, we got to level up the industry. And I think that it's not like we're doing something wrong. Again, we're not selling things that they don't want. We're selling something that they most likely need. And that's a good feeling. So I think that it's worth it. I love following up, man. I think it's a great way to hone in on your sales skills, and it's also a great way to find out where your gaps are. If there's a reason why they chose someone else over you, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. I'd ask all the time. Hey, what was the reason though? I just curious for my notes. Oh, well, they're going to be doing this and this for free. Okay, well, great to know that they don't have they don't pay labor taxes. I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, not only that, but they may ask for half down. Like, you really gonna do that for half down?
Yeah,
You gonna?
yeah, they want 50% down. That's a great value proposition, by the way.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I would do if I were you? And this isn't unethical, by the way, because first of all, it's not even expected of you to be doing zero down. What you can do is you can start with 500 down, and you know what? You could call back and say, "Hey, listen, just because I'm that motivated to show you why we are such a valuable company and we'll do such a great job, I don't even want to deposit from you. I will take all the money at the end once you're 100% satisfied. I'd use it to your advantage, 1,000%."
Oh yeah, I tell them sometimes. Of course, you got to pick who you say it, but I tell them, if you don't like it, don't pay for it. You know what I mean? And they like, that
Yeah, be
gives them that
careful what
shocked face. Yeah, I had a customer. I had a customer. They paid. It's just that they waited till they were 100% in love with it. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like an extra couple of hours. But either way, that's what I say. You can identify when you read people whether or not that's somebody you want to
Agreed.
say it to. But
Agreed.
when they hear that, love that. Like, if I don't like it, I don't pay for it. You know what I mean? So blam.
Yeah, that does take the pressure off, man. It really
Yeah,
does. You
yeah.
got to understand the market. A lot of people come into this scared, to deal with contractors. You're a friendly guy. It's probably different, and like I said, utilize that strategy, the follow up, man. I think after this call, I guarantee if you call 10 people that you've given an estimate to, you're going to get a sale today. Law of averages.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that because I got like a stack of
So
unsigned.
imagine this, right? Imagine you go on your phone, you have a mobile app that tells you everybody in one row of all the people that you've given a proposal to with a button that you could just hit call. Make the call. Okay, great. Put a note in, hit the next one. Make the call. Great. Put a note in. That's what Dripjobs is. So you have the ability to see who it is you given an estimate to. You easily can call, text, or GPS their location at any time.
Mhm.
Guarantee if you're not writing down the addresses, then you got to get the paper, look up the address, put it in your phone. It's just a mess, man. It's hard to be productive with that for sure. It's not your fault. It's the fault of.
No, it's like I said, just in the system that I'm just used to and was introduced to, and that I've been in for the longest. But like I said, I'm interested in
I
improving that
love it.
process
Yeah,
so
man.
that way I get more out of what I put in and have more time.
I was in the same boat, man. I didn't even have a CRM when I first started my business for about 7 months. I just did everything kind of all over the place. I I'm the contractor coach guy who teaches people, and I know I'm glad I went through that because I know that it's almost like I knew I wanted to do better, but there wasn't better for me to do. Like a lot of things that I use now, even now before Dripjobs launches, is just pieced together software that isn't even designed for us, and it's
Mm.
kind of working, but it's just not effective. So
No, I agree. I mean, I'm interested in seeing how that can improve
yeah, man,
my.
for sure, we will definitely chat on that. In
Yeah.
terms of marketing, did the information I gave you help a little bit?
Yeah, I definitely know that, like, all the platforms that are out there that are the most popular, Google, Facebook, Instagram, even Yelp, I'm not really taking advantage of most of that.
I would I
So that,
would just I would start with Google and Facebook, man.
okay.
Google and Facebook. It's all about being present when the need arises. Okay. Because it's not so much. and I say this a lot, it's not so much about the fact that people can't, like, there's not enough people to paint for. We know that there's enough people to paint for out there right now. At this very moment, there's probably 1,000 people within 100 miles that would pay you to paint their house. Would you agree?
Most
Just a
definitely.
thousand people, probably more, right?
Yeah.
The reason that you're not the one they're choosing is because they can't find you when they need to find you. They
No,
can't find you.
when I talk to people and they say they look me up or attempt to look me up, is always either Google or mostly Yelp. I haven't had too many people tell me
Well,
Facebook.
Yelp on the West Coast is pretty popular. Here, Yelp is like, no
I
one
forgot
knows what
you.
that is.
Really? It's
Yeah.
Yelp is integrated iPhone, so when people search, I feel like that's like the
Dude,
number
I've
one
had
thing.
an iPhone forever and I've never clicked and I've never signed up for a Yelp account. It's just there's
I don't
nothing there for me.
understand.
Isn't that funny? It's a West
That's
Coast thing, man. Yeah.
strange.
Strange.
Strange. Yeah, I feel like everybody. I depend on Yelp, man.
That's
Shit.
crazy. But for you, Yelp it, dude. You know, Yelp it, man. Um, but yeah,
Yes.
man.
Yeah.
So those are some things like you gotta be where the need is when the need arises. And that's Google mostly. You know, what a blessing Google is, man, for people who, you know, it gets everyone in one central location. Like that's like the thing. It's like our society like knows like when I need something, Google that need and then boom, we can pop up. If you Google my area and my and painting, you're going to see my company. That's awesome, man. And we have 110 reviews on there, 5 stars. Okay. You can look it up. Ocala Painter.
No, no, no. I was gonna just do my own and see what
Do
happened real
your own?
quick.
Okay. What's the city
What
you're in?
put like painters in your city?
What's that?
What do you put like painters in
Just
Florida?
put painters in Ocala, Florida.
I was gonna do mine. I'm just gonna. Oh shoot! Hold on. Let me change that. Let me take away the.
Yeah, put it up there. Well, yeah. What's yeah? We'll put what's the city you're in?
Scottsdale.
Oh, you're in a big city.
Yeah.
Scottsdale painting contractor. All right, so Scottsdale painting contractor. So if I were moving to Scottsdale, me and my wife are moving. We bought a house there. Honey, we need to get it painted. First thing I'm doing is going to Scottsdale painting contractor on Google. And I've already made my decision on the top 3 that I'm calling based off of the reviews. I'm definitely going to call Fresh Coat Painters. They got 28 reviews, all 5 stars.
Yeah, I just went through the list of 22 that popped up. I'm not on that.
You're not on there.
But
Okay, so
part about it is that I'm sure, outside of maybe one on here, outside of me, my volume is higher than all of these guys. And I'm not trying to be,
no, but that's
talk, I,
credit to you. Not saying that
yeah,
that's a bad thing, but we're just talking about how to increase that now. I think what you've built
yeah,
is a phenomenal foundation. I'm not saying anything other than now you need to get with the times in terms of being present online. But me looking here, and did you look up my company?
painters and what was it again?
Ocala, Ocala, Florida.
What's the name of the company?
What companies do you see? What are the top 3?
I got ads, so it's like Prodigy and
No,
Upstate.
through
And
the ads. Through don't look at the ads. I'm talking about the map.
it says Premium, Pure, All American.
Yep, premium. That's me.
Okay, Premium was actually the first one that popped up.
That's it. So when people
Oh,
cut when
oh,
what's that?
5 star. I see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, man. So but I'm just trying to show you that when people Google that, we're right there. Okay. A lot of it has to do with the reviews.
And that's SEO too, though, right?
Partially, I don't pay anyone to do SEO. I mean, my website's pretty good. And then the reviews. I mean, we have the most reviews by far. I mean, I made it a focus of mine to get that many reviews. You know,
Oh,
when you
okay.
have
So
that many reviews, Google's like, okay, these guys are a decent company to show. Remember, Google's job is to make sure that their customers, like it's our job, their customers are having a good experience. How do they ensure that? By providing them the best search results possible. How do they check that? They have a few metrics. Obviously, reviews are a heavy metric of is this company a good company to show our customers when they search on our platform? Does that make sense?
100%. That's basically giving them a good, form of
Right.
credit as far
Absolutely. So what does that
as
mean they're going to do if they have a good experience on Google?
they're gonna call, man.
They're going to come back.
And I need to be up there like that.
You got to be up there. That's huge. You're missing out on probably, dude, I'd say there's probably about at least 50 searches on Google that are going to make phone calls, and you want a piece of that pie, you
Do you
know?
just flat ask them, can you leave me a review? Because sometimes I feel like that's a little extra to be assuming that they maybe even want to do that. So I generally
Oh,
don't.
man. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask you right now. I just painted for you. Hey, Larry,
Yeah.
how did we do, man? Do you think we did a good job?
Yes.
We're
I
role
love.
playing.
I love it.
You love it.
Love it.
Awesome, man. So, hey, listen, I'm sure you know by now that online reviews are the way everyone buys. It would go such a long way if you could just write a quick review about us on Google. Would you mind doing that?
Uh, I guess most people wouldn't have a problem with it, really. I
Right.
just looked at.
So here's the thing. They'll
I
probably
have no-
say yes to you at your face and then never get around to it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what do I do? Well, I make sure that I send them the link that goes right to my review page for them to do it, to
I'm all
make it
about
easy. Huh?
I'm all about eliminating the amount of steps that they need to take to make what
Absolutely.
I'm easier. So
So
yeah.
what do you think Dripjobs does? When the job's done, it sends them the link automatically in a text message.
All right. Yeah, that's smart. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, so we automate that, but I used to just text it right to them with a link where they can go, click it, boom, leave the review, done. Thank you. Easy. You make it easy, they'll do it. If you just leave it open ended, like, hey, can you leave me a review? Yeah, I'll leave you a review. How many people have you told that you were going to give a customer satisfaction survey to and you never did it?
Yeah. Right. So, and
Everyone
I
does
know.
that. I
Yeah.
did it
So
yesterday. The guy didn't make it easy. He didn't send me the link.
right. But Hattie, you probably get it. There you go.
You got to make it easy.
Yeah.
So I think that'll cap us off, man, for today. But I hope, was this valuable to you, man? Did you learn
Very,
some
very,
things?
very good information.
Awesome, man. So what I need to do, we need to come back in 2 weeks on this, and I want to hear your progress because I think you're gonna really, you were taking notes, man. You're really engaged. I think you're gonna really take off with this information. Um, and then we'll talk next steps, and I'll show you drip jobs. I do the demos. We'll set up a demo. I can show you.
Yeah, man. Please, I would greatly appreciate that. I feel like that would definitely all of this stuff, man. All the follow up stuff, the CRM stuff, the review links, getting your stuff ranked up there pretty high. I feel like that'll have a dramatic increase on.
Unstoppable. You already have the workforce. You just need to connect the supply, which is the workforce, to the demand.
But yeah, because I'm not using any of these outside tools. I'm just depending on self.
Imagine that. And you're doing more, you're doing a million and probably around 1 million in revenue.
And see, the thing with that is that if what could it be if I just to
Hello.
show you
Of course
a
you
lot of
can.
that. What would it be if I implemented all of this? You know what I mean? So
Exactly. What
that's
would it
crazy.
be? I think it would be tremendous, first of all. And I think that you have people right now that are sitting in your quote unquote queue that you don't need to do anything new. You just need to follow up with them and start adding revenue that you wouldn't have added if you didn't follow up.
Trust me, I'm gonna start on that today.
So get after that. Give me some feedback later, man. Always a
All right,
pleasure chatting with you, bro. We'll catch up soon.
thank you for your time.
All right, my man. Dripjobs CRM is finally here. That's right. So Dripjobs is an automation platform for contractors, home service professionals that's going to automatically follow up with your customers. It's going to allow you to send invoices, estimates. It's going to allow you to send out blast marketing emails to individuals based on where they are in the buying process. This software is next level. And I'm reaching out to you. You're a listener of this podcast, and I want you to be one of the first ones to give it a shot. So if you want to see what Dripjobs can do for your business, I'd love for you to head over to dripjobs.com, sign up for a free demo, and get your team involved, and let us sit with you and show you how powerful this software is. It's going to save you time, it's going to make you money, and you're going to love the features that are built into Dripjobs. So if you want to check it out, head over to dripjobs.com. And we will give you first priority being a podcast listener to be one of the very first to try out Dripjobs in your home service business. I'm super excited to share that with you, and I'll catch you on the next episode.